This is another episode of Love's Diary, and I'm Antisosurelove, signing on. Dear Diary,
I have a few positive and a few negatives. Me and JK, we really wanted, to have a baby together, but now, it's a possibility that him and I aren't even going to be together.
I promise, just when we thought Brooke and JK were officially done, this happens. Just when everyone thought they were over. Of course, this will be the moment Brooke thinks she might be pregnant. Timing could not be better. Her mom wasn't even surprised, just disappointed. She told Brooke she needs to find out for sure first, before telling JK. But knowing Brooke, she used this whole situation as a reason to reach out to JK again. What really threw me was how much the kids already knew. They straight up said they thought JK was back with his ex, and that broke my heart. Kids see more than we think, and honestly, I hate how he would leave them hanging too. It's not just Brooke he walked out on. Those kids were invested, and now they're feeling the loss too. That's the hardest part about dating as a single parent. A breakup isn't just between two people. It trickles down and affects the kids. No matter how much you try to shield them, so many people promise to still be there, but very few actually follow through. That's what makes it risky. Trying to balance doing what's best for your kids while also hoping the person you're with takes that responsibility seriously too. And then when Brooke and JK finally told his parents, well, that did not go well either. They weren't happy at all. Brooke was shocked by their reaction, but honestly, I get it. If neither one of them is stable right now, who's supposed to carry the weight of a new baby? It's a real concern because generally it's the grandparents, if you have any. And theirs clearly ain't having that. Guess we'll have to wait and see what happens next. But one thing is certain, before anything else, they need a job.
I'm so fed up. I can't even hear it from Daniel himself that he's spending a night in a hotel. His parole officer has to call me.
What did the PO say?
She said she doesn't think it's safe for us to be living together, and she said she's probably gonna pull you out of this living situation. That's why I'm freaking out. I guess he's telling his parole officer that I'm the problem, and he just needs to be away from me, which is shocking to me because I'm doing no wrong.
Daniel and Bianca's situation really has me thinking. It's concerning that Daniel doesn't feel comfortable confiding in Bianca about his sobriety. In a way, I can see why. Because in the beginning, Bianca didn't seem too concerned about it with all the drinking going on around him. But to be fair, she has started her own sobriety journey now, and that's a big step in the right direction. Still, the fact that he keeps things from her only creates more doubt in her mind. As women, we can't help but worry. It feels like it's in our nature. And when there are gaps in transparency, those doubts grow even louder. Being open and honest really is the best way to quiet all those what ifs that play in the back of your mind. I notice Bianca often misreads Daniel's affection, interpreting his distance and lack of communication as a sign he isn't really invested. But who hasn't been there before? We've all fallen victim to misinterpreting someone's silence. And then there's the whole issue of Daniel not returning or letting her know when he's hanging out with friends. In his head, he just doesn't want to deal with Bianca going off. But honestly, it only makes things worse later. A little communication can save both of them a lot of unnecessary stress. At least he's not back in jail. Thank God for that. So Bianca can rest easy, knowing when he's coming back home. But this latest hiccup with his lack of communication feels like a warning sign of what could spiral if they don't address it. I can't wait to see what happens next. But one thing's clear. They've got some serious communication issues between them.
That's such a fight.
Well, I'm not ready to spend money on a piece of
With Justine and Michael, it's obvious. The love is real and it's strong. Honestly, they have the kind of problems most people wish they had. Their connection shines through even when they're in the middle of an argument. And I admire how Justine stood her ground in their latest disagreement. That balance of love and respect is rare. Even in conflict, you can see they truly care for one another. But love alone won't smooth out everything. They've got a lot happening right now. Business ventures, the wedding, almost 10 kids, and just everyday life all swirling together. It makes me nervous for them. Sometimes when a couple takes on too much at once, the weight of it all creeps in and burnout follows before you know it. Still, I love how they argue with passion, but always circle back to love. That's not something you can fake. I just hope they can align their visions for the future, both in business and in marriage. If they can get on the same page, I think they'll be unstoppable. For now, though, I guess we'll just have to wait and see if they can balance it all without losing what makes them so special.
And how the am I supposed to believe that, Courtney? You so far have not given me a reason to trust you.
You're making me feel like about myself more so than I already do.
This is what it sounds like when someone cares about you and you're up. And who's even with you right now?
I'm by myself right now.
Doesn't matter who you're with. Just saying.
When it comes to Will and Courtney, all I hear from her is me, and money. It's hard to tell if she really cares for him at all. The fact she doesn't set boundaries with others for her relationship alone is a red flag. And having friends of the opposite sex that your partner doesn't even know about, that never ends well. It feels like Courtney only keeps Will around to see what she can get out of him. As long as he can supply what she wants, she's good. But the moment that changes, she makes him feel it. If she truly cares about him, she's got to let go of that street mentality and start showing up for him in a real way. Because Will clearly isn't looking for some transactional give and take arrangement. He seems to want a genuine relationship. The good thing is, Will isn't spineless. He's finally put his foot down and stopped sending her money. I know that has to sting, especially after investing so much with nothing meaningful in return. But honestly, choosing to walk away, even when you don't want to, is sometimes the biggest show of strength. It's a boundary he's setting for himself. What he will and will not accept. And no pun intended, but there's a check Courtney can't cash anymore. For Will's sake, I hope he sticks to it. Because if Courtney can't match his energy with love and respect, then I'm not sure how long they will last. Guess we'll have to see what happens next with these two.
What I notice is once things is about to get good, a lot of stuff pops up, you know? That happened, a couple of weeks right before I came home?
Yeah, so the whole DCFS situation happened with his son, Damari.
Whatever hurdles I gotta go through, I'm gonna do it to make sure I'll be able to get Damari.
Can't nothing keep us from him. Like, we're coming to get you, baby.
The way Letitia lights up when she talks about Keith is unforgettable. Her joy feels so genuine, almost contagious. I can see how smitten Letitia is with Keith, and it warms my heart. There's no denying her love runs deep. She pours into him with such optimism and faith, even when his reserved nature makes him harder to read. It's clear Keith carries the weight of his past. 11 years, institutionalized, will leave anyone guarded. I don't think his quietness means he doesn't care, but more so that he's still adjusting to a world he's been away from for so long. What moved me most was Keith's self-awareness. He knows the cycle his family has endured with incarceration, and instead of repeating it blindly, he wants to be the one to break it. That recognition is remarkable. If he leans into his own growth, he could inspire not only his son, but also others in his family to choose a better path. And then there's Letitia. Her faith in him is unwavering. From helping him get back on his feet, to making sure he has legal support in gaining custody of his son, she goes above and beyond. She shows she's deeply invested and that she's all in. Watching her gives me hope too, because she reminds me of what it looks like to truly believe in someone, even when the odds feel heavy. I'm eager to see how Keith blossoms with her support and how he will open up more fully with time. Love seems to be there, and time will help it grow. I can't help but wonder, will Keith step into this new chapter with the same faith Letitia has in him? And will their love prove strong enough to withstand the shadows of his past? Only time will tell.
We're not going back and forth about this. I said what I said.
I
said what I said. I said what I said. I said what I said. What's the issue? I'm coming right back.
The fact that you're not including me right now?
You are included. I told you that I'm going and I'm coming back.
How?
I'm not involving you in bull. I don't know what's going on. So I'm not going to bring you there if I don't know what's going on.
Clearly you knew what's going on because you had your bags packed.
I'm not sure how something as small as a trip turned into a storm of tension between Troy and Zaria. It showed just how fragile the balance really is in their blended family. Watching Troy and Zaria, I can't help but feel both happy for them and concerned. On the surface, they work so well together. Their partnership flows when it's just the two of them. But the moment family gets involved, everything seems to unravel. It feels like a tug of war, with Troy caught in the middle, pulled between his wife and his family. And I can see the weight of it wearing him down. He wants peace, but peace feels almost impossible without boundaries. Troy not telling Zaria about his trip ahead of time may have been his way of avoiding conflict, but it only made things worse. I get it though. Sometimes when one partner has a strong personality, silence feels like the safer choice. But it backfired, turning the silence into the very conflict that he was trying to escape. Zaria's need to control every detail shows up so strongly. And while I understand her frustration and her right to ask questions, I also think she'll have to learn how to loosen her grip. Marriage isn't about control. It's about trust and compromise. The tricky part is, Troy loves his family. That's not going to change. And Zaria is the woman he chose to marry. That's not going to change either. Which means the only way forward is for both of them to find that middle ground. Boundaries will have to be drawn, and both sides will need to adjust for this marriage to thrive. I wonder, will Troy finally step up and set the boundaries that protect his peace? Or will the tug of war between his wife and his family keep pulling him apart? So this is another episode of Love's Diary, and this is Antisocial Love, signing off.